Okay, so we've completed our high. Well, I completed the high poly bevels, and I did this. Just added that in off screen. Forgot to record, and I took this and just added some indents on that one. And then I also did the make sure the just make sure the internals are also marked out with bevels. Alright, so now we can start the low poly and unwrap. So let's go to solid and we'll go back to layout. Actually, we can go to the shading, go to our low poly folder. We'll do the same thing. So we want completed and our working. Okay, and then move everything to working. Alright, and let's create a new material and call it low poly. Let's add a UV editing workspace, create a new texture, and we'll just call this Unwrap. It doesn't really need to be named anything. We're gonna add a color grid, and select the low poly material. Press Ctrl L and make sure everything has the same material. And now we should add an image, and we're just gonna make it with an emission. We're doing that with the node wrangler. Control Shift click. Click Unwrap. And just to see this is working, we can set it to Object, Box. Yeah, and you can see it's applied. So let's just set this back to flat in the UV. Alright, and now we need to start low polying this. So we'll delete that, and we want to make sure everything has subdivision level 0 if it does have subdivision on this layer. So I just press Ctrl 0 with everything selected. Alright, so we'll delete this and apply this. Alright, so let's dissolve that, and same thing with these, and we'll just limited dissolve, and we'll delete all these unnecessary verts. And let's triangulate our n-gons, and we can turn on wireframe. Just to see how it's triangulating. These not quads? Oh, they're not quads. Alright, let's clean up this. So we'll go to here, delete that, or dissolve rather. And might be worth adding an edge loop to kind of control the shading. So let's subdivide. At least for now. Delete that edge. Bring it up. And now we'll grab around. And we'll just bring this up. And then we'll merge these. And let's see. Alright, that's fine. We want to limited dissolve this. Alright, and might as well symmetrize. Make sure it's going in the right direction. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Okay, that looks good. And we'll symmetrize again. I'm gonna add symmetrize to quick favorites, so it's, what is it? Symmetrize. Mesh symmetrize, so mesh. Add to quick favorites. Symmetrize. Alright, let's grab these and make them limited dissolve. We'll weld that there and that there. And that there. Actually, we'll just grab everything here. Limited dissolve. Let's triangulate this ourselves. Make sure we remove all of doubles. Alright, let's just keep triangulating. Alright, and let's do the other side too. Alright, and this should be able to take care of the rest. Let's just make sure we symmetrize. And that looks good. I think we should have, on the final object, we could have mirrored UVs on this if we wanted to now. So now we need to shade smooth, and anywhere with a crease we're going to mark as sharp. Make sure this is also auto smoothed. And grab these. And we can do both of these and deselect this edge ring and mark it sharp. And uncrease everything. And anywhere with a sharp edge, we're gonna mark a seam. That's a rule, like and that has to do with the way that the normal map is going to be applied. It's the best way to do it is to have sharp edges on your sharp edges, and then we'll use a cage to project, and that'll give us a perfect normal map. Alright, that looks good to me. So let's unwrap now. Let's turn this off. We could also put a seam right down the middle. Unwrap. So what is this piece? So grab that. Alright, so let's grab these and mark seam. Let's try unwrapping now. And that looks... Alright, so there's quite a bit of stretching going on here, like you can see. So let's grab... Let's turn this off and go to solid. Let's just do one side. And now we're just going to... Let's go here and we'll project from view. And that gave it like a perfect projection. And now we can symmetrize. Alright, so they do have mirrored UVs right now. Now looks pretty good, even triangulated. Alright, so let's triangulate the n-gons now. Might as well. And we'll move that to our completed folder. Alright, let's delete that, it's a floater. Same thing with that. Alright, let's do this piece now. Alright, so uncrease everything. Clear sharps. And let's delete these. Bring that to there. Same thing with these. Alright, and that looks good. Let's see our high poly folder. It's the we should just bring that in that much. Then go to this one and do the same thing. And that thin triangle is no good, so triangulate it like this, like that, or what would it? Alright, so now let's select our sharp edges and mark them as sharp. That looks good. Alright, and let's triangulate n-gons. Change its beauty. I don't know if that even did anything. Alright. So I want to bring this back out. And let's do the same thing here. Because it looks fine. Just looks a little awkward from right here, but from these angles it looks fine. Alright, so now anywhere with a sharp edge we want to mark a seam, and let's mark a seam right down the middle too. Just if we want to mirror these. Unwrap. Alright, so I do have the UV Pack Master add-on, which is like the only paid add-on I have and I highly recommend it. So I'm going to use that for packing. If you don't have it, you could just use the pack islands, but it doesn't do as good of a job. Alright, so what is this? Alright, so these didn't get picked up. So mark seam, mark sharp. Now try and unwrap. Okay, what are these? Alright, so do I have the UV squares add-on? Let's go. Squares. UVs to grid of squares. So I think I do have the UV squares add-on, so just Google that and install it. And we'll select select these islands in face mode. And UVs to grid of square. Two square grid. I don't know what the difference between these two is. Reshapes UVs to grid with respect. Let's use. Alright. I think this one makes them cubes. And this one makes them like proportional. So this edge is longer, so it receives longer. So let's just re-unwrap those into grid by shape. And then let's symmetrize. And let's check out our unwrap. And they're stretching here, but that's fine. We want these edges to be straight. It'll bake up better on the normal map. And let's just, we can pack half of this and then symmetrize. The shortcut for this was Alt-E. Alright, so let's just remember that. Alright, that looks good for our unwrap. Let's apply. Move to completed. Let's do this. Pick continue rail next. So we want to apply. Let's apply this. Grab everything that's coplanar, and we'll bring it up this high. And let's subdivide that and bring it in like that. We're gonna have to do that for everyone. Or we could just do it for half of it and then symmetrize, which is I think what we should do. Actually, we can just bring this in like that, because these are not contributing to the silhouette. And I'm gonna make, like, if we go to the high poly, I'm not gonna give these hex screws their own mesh, so just keep that in mind. Let's go back to our low poly. Let's bring this up. Alright, that one's good, that one's good. Let's bring these to there. And then symmetrize, but make sure we have the right way. And now we can delete that. Oh wait, we can't delete that loop. So let's undo the symmetrize. We'll just do this manually because I don't want to add an extra loop throughout the whole model. That will just needlessly add to the poly count. Okay, let's do these other three. Alright, undo this one too. Alright, and then we'll grab everything here. Turn the threshold down so it doesn't pick up those top ones. Duplicate it, bring it in. Extrude, recalculate the normals, and now subtract it from that and apply. Now we can get rid of this. Grab anything coplanar, and we want to make sure we're going to the right depth. So just bring it down to there. Alright, so now we gotta manage all these loops. So first thing, so we can delete this one and this one. And same with this. And we'll just bring that to there. And that to there. So now we want to, let's grab those, do checker, deselect, and then we'll do, okay, actually grab both of these, do checker, deselect. Okay, we're gonna have to do it one at a time. Checker, deselect, and offset it by 1, and then we'll collapse those. Let's do the same thing here. Collapse, same thing, collapse, alright, undo that, checker, deselect, and collapse. Now we could make this all like just one giant n-gon, but that would cause lots of really tiny triangles, which are not good. So we'll just like compromise and do this method. So we'll offset by 1, collapse, do the same thing here, and collapse. And what would it look like if we, like, I would just want to see how stretched things would be if we collapsed. Like these, probably these would be better to collapse. Not too bad. What about these instead? I think that's good. So let's grab all of these, do checker, deselect, offset it, and then we'll collapse those one more time. So we grab the ones in between, or on the Picatinny. We'll grab those, do checker, deselect, and collapse. Alright, let's do the same thing here. Check or deselect. Collapse. Check or deselect. Offset it. Collapse. Remember, just bring that to there. And let's triangulate n-gons. And that doesn't look too bad. It is. This is represent. Okay, let's do Shift H. It's 856 tries, so you know, it's whatever. Not too bad. Alright, so now let's unwrap. Any sharp edges, we're going to make sure everything is merged and with outward facing normals. Mark that as sharp. Okay, and everything needs to be shaded smooth with an auto smooth of 180. Alright, now let's grab this, and anywhere with a sharp needs a seam, and then we will unwrap this. And let's pack it so you can kind of see. Alright, right now these are just really long strips. And that's why it's like, if we broke this up, we would be able to pack better. But once we pack more than one thing onto this, it'll be fine. Alright, let's look at the. Everything is good. About with that. Alright, it's still no warping really. So we'll apply and move that to completed. Let's do this sight. Alright, so we'll grab this. This is not going to be mirrored UV since it's like pretty important right in the player's face. So we'll grab that loop and dissolve it. Let's select sharp edges and mark them as sharp and a seam. These are unnecessary, but we can triangulate and create quads pretty easily. So we got quad, 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 quad. Let's delete those. Same thing with these. We'll do the same thing here. Alright, and we should be able to create quads here too. Okay, create quad here. Same thing with this. Let's delete this loop and triangulate like this. And then we can do something like that. Alright, let's triangulate. Okay, and then we'll just apply grab and unwrap. Okay, we need a seam here. So, and a sharp. Mark sharp and mark seam. Mark sharp, mark seam. And then we need a... Might as well make our seam here since it's already there. And then we need a seam on the inside of this, and this, and this. We'll just press Alt J to turn those into quads. Alright, now let's try unwrapping. Let's grab, what are these? And what is this? Alright, so that's pretty bad. Let's add a seam right here. And let's grab this, this, and this. We'll press Alt. Okay, turn that off. Press Alt E. And now we can pack. Okay, make sure our normals are facing the right way. And we don't have any doubles. Alright, and that looks good. So let's move that to our completed. Let's delete this screw. We'll do this next, so let's isolate them. We want to make this one mesh. So just delete these faces. Create loops. What the heck? Okay, whatever, just create. Don't know what's going on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why is it doing that? It won't let me create. Alright, whatever, we can just rebuild this geometry then. I don't know what is causing that. Let's try this now. Oh, it's not joined, that's why. Alright, join this up. That was a stupid mistake. Create faces. Select our sharp edges. Mark as sharp. Make sure we have our normals pointing the right way. We need a seam down the middle. And anywhere that's sharp should have a seam too. Alright. Let's grab that. What is that piece? This? Let's do Alt E. Alright, then we'll pack. And might as well create a face here. Mark seam, mark sharp, and unwrap it. And then let's do average island scale. And move that to completed. Let's make sure this has a face. Alright, it does. And it looks fine. Except for the normals, I think, are pointed the wrong way. We'll go through that in baking. That's like a kind of an error that'll jump out in baking. Alright, let's do this piece next. So grab any sharp edges and mark as sharp. Okay, and then we'll mark those with seams. Put a seam right here and right here too. And we'll do a seam right here and right here. Just so these can be one strip. So we'll unwrap. And this is already pretty optimized. We can get rid of this. Get rid of that. Triangulate like that. Let's turn on triangulation. Alright, I'm gonna say that's, you know, acceptable. Don't think we have, okay, these, that might be unnecessary, same with that. Same with this. Alright, I think we've reduced it as much as we can. So let's unwrap. Just want to rotate this until it's in there like in a line. Alright, that didn't work. UV line, where is it? Line auto, let's add that to quick favorites. Line auto. Alright, that's a good one. Let's rotate this too. Alright, align, 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 and align. Alright. It seems to rotate this, it doesn't even care. We can... Where is it? I think it's in... I don't know, it's fine though. I want it to be straight. So... There should be something about rotation. Let's see. Alright, so from the basic options panel, Whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's look at this. And alright, we'll move that to completed. Let's do this piece. It's already pretty much as low poly as it can get. And I think it's all quads. It's like sharp edges, mark sharp, and seam, and unwrap. Alright, that looks good. Make sure our normals are pointing the right way. Move it to completed. Let's do this piece. Triangulate, n-gons. Alright, so this is a sharp edge. And I guess this is too. Or maybe it's not. Yeah, it doesn't need to be one. But let's... Okay, let's do set normals from face. And that'll align the corner normals, or the face corner normals, whatever they're called, to this face. So here's before and after, and that'll help the shading. Alright, so let's mark that sharp too. Alright, and anything with sharp should have a seam. This should have a seam too. And I think we should, what is it, poke? I think that'll help give it better triangulation. Let's see. Where is it? Wireframe. Yeah, we might as well just poke this. Because there's going to be a triangle for every edge anyway. So then we'll set normals from face. Same thing with this. We'll just poke it. Poke. And then we'll unwrap. Make sure we have a seam there. Unwrap. And make this a grid. Alright, that looks good. Move to completed. Let's do this piece. Alright, apply that. Delete that. Grab these, delete them. Let's turn on backface cull. Delete these edges. Because they were really messed up from the Boolean. Alright. Let's join. Just create quads there. And let's select sharp edges, mark them as sharp and as a seam, and we'll poke this, and then unwrap. Is that ready to seam? Unwrap. What is this right here? Alright, that's those. Alright. Let's pack it. That looks good. Alright, let's move it to completed. That's a floater. Delete it. Recalculate the normals. Let's apply. And then we'll, where is it? Triangulate n-gons. So let's select anything that's sharp, and mark sharp, and mark seam. Let's poke. And we could probably collapse some of these. It doesn't need to be this high poly on this part, so let's checker, deselect, and collapse. We could do the same thing here. Checker, deselect, collapse. Alright, that is significantly more low poly. Let's see how that triangulates. That looks good. So let's apply, or first let's unwrap. That looks good. But make sure we have a seam here. And apply. Looks good. Move to completed. Let's do this. Let's apply. And let's clear sharp, because we don't want these to be sharp. Select sharp edges and mark them as sharp. Mark them as a seam. Alright, that looks good. And let's just limited dissolve this. Press X. Limited dissolve. And let's triangulate. See how that looks. Alright, let's create alright, let's unwrap and see how that looks. So you can get a lot of stretching right there. So really, what we can do to fix this is just add in some. Well, we could grab this and then do project from view, and that fixes it. Grab that one too. Project from view. Alright, and then we'll average island scale and apply. And then we'll move it to completed. Let's grab this. Select sharp edges. And we'll mark everything that needs to be sharp. And mark that as a seam. And unwrap. Now let's reduce the poly count. This should be higher poly right here. Like, if we look at our, where is it? If we look at our completed, it's really round. So we need to make sure that's reflected in the low poly. So let's subdivide that, Actually, let's just do it like this. We'll subdivide these edges individually. Move them to there. And then we'll subdivide these. Alright. Add these to a group. Assign. And then we're going to shrink wrap. We're going to project. And we're going to make that the target. And it doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. What the heck? Let's set it to... Why was it? Alright, let's set it to... nearest surface point. And let's just apply. And we'll grab these and we'll do space. Same thing with these. And then we'll reapply the modifier. Oops. Do a shrink wrap. Those are plane 77. Vertex group. Just apply. Alright. That looks good. So let's continue with this. This vertex is unnecessary. Anything that doesn't really contribute to the silhouette, you can get rid of. So like this, it's on a flat base, won't contribute. You can just collapse that. Same thing with this. This is not a symmetrical piece, so no sense having this loop running down the middle. Let's delete it. And just bring that to like there. Same thing with this. Get rid of those. Same thing with these. This is unnecessary. So are these. Let's triangulate, or turn these into quads. Okay, clear those of sharps and seams. What else can we get rid of? That right there. These verts. Let's make sure everything's manifold. Manifold. Alright, nothing. Oh, one is selected. Just delete that vertice. Alright, this can be collapsed to there. Now select everything with a seam. And we'll mark it as sharp. I think that's good, so let's unwrap, see how it looks. Not bad. Alright, so now we can move this to our completed. Let's do this piece. Delete this. Let's triangulate n-gons. And I'm pretty sure... Okay, so we can just slide those over. Same with that. And that's pretty much done. So select sharp edges, mark sharp, mark seam, and unwrap. So everything looks good. Move that to completed. Alright, this has been going for an hour. There's really no other techniques, but I'm just gonna keep going through all this. Alright, let's delete the subdivision, delete the triangulation, and apply that, and apply these. Alright, let's grab this face, and we'll do uncrease everything first of all. Oh wait, undo that, undo. That was a mistake. These are subdivided, so we need to unsubdivide them first. So just undo until we're back to the booleans. Alright, so let's grab this and find it. Turn off subdivisions. And I think these might be, yeah, so they're the same ones that these are using. So we'll just turn on subdivision, duplicate these, move them to our low poly, select this one, and instead have these point to these ones. Yeah, it's good. Alright. Just keep going. So uncrease all this, turn off the sharps. Let's put a sharp edge here and here. Mark sharp. And we'll do the same thing with this. We'll just mark those as sharp. And get rid of that. And then with these. And this right here. Let's get rid of these. Actually, I'll just keep those for now, so that way we don't have like really long triangles. Alright, we can delete that though. And triangulate our endons. And anything with a sharp needs a seam. And let's unwrap. Let's mark a seam here. Let's just mark a seam on this face. We'll do mark seam. And we'll just do the same thing for this. Mark seam. Actually, we don't need. Okay, Control Z. We'll clear seam. See how that unwraps first. Alright, so might be worth having one down the middle so we can cut our UVs in half. So let's just do that. Symmetrize and mark that as a seam. And I also want to have this as a seam so we can have it in a grid. Actually, because yeah, right now these are pretty ugly. So that, all the way around. And mark that as a seam. Unwrap. Select these. And do to grid. Alt E. Same thing with this. That's already in one. Alright, and let's look at the shading. This shading is really kind of ugly. We see a matte cap. You can see how ugly it is. So, but we could either mark it as sharp, or we could do set normals from faces. That destroyed our sharp edges right here. So now we want to grab these and then search for split normals. Alright, and now if we look at our shading, we got nice shading along this back face, and we could do that for this too. So we'll grab these, this, that, And then we'll do set normals from faces. We'll grab these right here. Then we'll type split normals and do the same thing for this. Oops, grab these. Type split normals and delete this extra loop in here. It's unnecessary. And we'll bring that to the top. Make sure we split normals. And if we look at our shading, that looks like pretty good shading. Alright, so these faces have perfectly flat normals, and then the bevels have their rounded normals. Alright, but it's not split, so that should bake nicer without having a hard edge on these edges. So let's check our UVs. Looks good. Okay, and let's move that to our completed. Let's do these hex screws. So let's just, I guess, apply. And undo, because I don't know what that is connected to. So let's grab this, and then do sharp edges, mark seam, mark sharp, and mark seam, unwrap, and move that to completed. And then I want to delete this. And then once we bake, once we bake this right here, we'll just duplicate it up, and that'll save some texture space. Alright. Let's keep going. So let's go back to our working. And then we'll do this next. This should be a kind of complicated piece. Make sure we grab this too. Alright, so let's apply all these, and create a face there, a face, right, and then grab these and let's boolean it together, and then hit apply and apply. Alright, now we can delete these boolean objects. Come here. Right, we have to handle this. Okay, let's shade flat for now and set a easier matte cap. Bring that to there. That to there. Delete these faces. Have everything that's coplanar. The heck, I guess these aren't coplanar. And remove doubles. Bring that in, and Now we can move that there, that there. Let's just delete or dissolve those. Same thing with these. So we'll just grab all of these with circle select and dissolve it. Now we will create quads where we can, and then I guess just triangulate where we can't. This is a symmetrical piece, so that's good to keep in mind. So we'll just symmetrize. What the heck? Let's make sure those are properly mirrored on the high poly, because that should. Alright, so let's grab. Okay, it seems like everything's lining up, so that's fine. Alright, now let's bring this to here, that to there, that to there, that to there. We'll grab these and do limited dissolve. Alright, now let's shade smooth. Select our sharp edges. Mark them as sharp. I think that covers pretty much everything. Let's bring that down. Let's triangulate. Do something like that. Let's do that. Same thing with these. They're kind of hard to see, but they're there. Alright, and let's, since this had a lot of booleans on it, I want to make sure everything's manifold. Alright, 2 verts got selected right here, so delete that vert. Now we have no vert selected, so it's watertight. Symmetrize. Okay. Anywhere where there's a sharp edge, add a seam, and then okay, get rid of the seam and the sharp here. Okay, clear seam, clear sharp. Now let's unwrap. And right, so we want a seam here, here, and here. Probably here and here too. That'll just make this island more cut up. This is fine, having it like that. Let's just cut a seam right there. Okay, what is this? This is a bad island. Let's grab that. Alright, so we need a seam there. And what is this right here? I think that's just the face of an N-gon. Yeah. So I guess we can just could just project from view. And then split them like that. And then average island scale and pack. So where are they now? Whatever, it's still gonna get rotated by the packer. I think that's good. Let's take a look. Let's triangulate N-gons. See if there's anything that... Okay, let's turn that off. And poke. Other than that, if we triangulate, I think we're good. Alright, let's apply. Everything still looks good. Alright, so now let's move it to completed. Let's do these. These should be easy. Select sharp edges. Mark sharp, mark seam. Delete these. Then let's collapse those. First, let's bring them. Let's bring them to the center. And then collapse. Delete these. So they're aligned. Collapse. And then do the same thing here. Collapse. And then we'll do these ones. Maybe those ones. Yeah, if we collapse that, that triangle's really sharp, so I'm just gonna collapse. Collapse from here to here. Alright, let's... I guess we just gotta leave that one. Or we could actually collapse these like that. Let's triangulate. Let's get rid of this like unnecessary loop. Why can't I select it? Alright. Alright, grab that. Set 4 of these. And just dissolve. Same thing with this. Grab it. Set 4 of these. And then dissolve. Grab those. Anything else that's sharp and mark seam. Alright, let's collapse these now. So let's go from here. Bring it like that. Alright, and now collapse those. Collapse these. And collapse that. And collapse that. Collapse that. Now let's unwrap. Everything looks pretty good. No like obvious. Okay, here we have some very obvious stretching. So let's grab this. This island. We'll do U. Let's grab all these islands actually. And then project from view. And that works for now. And if it ends up causing problems, we'll have to come back and fix that. Let's just apply. Alright, so we'll average island scale and pack it. And send that to the low poly. Alright. Let's keep going. I don't know if it's even worth releasing all these videos, honestly. A lot of this is just like tedious and the same. So I'm definitely gonna do a time lapse and commentate over it. I think that'll like that'll probably get more views because it's not gonna be like 20 hours long. And also I'll be able to put like the most important pieces of information in it. So let's just triangulate our n-gons. We can just leave this with, or we can just apply, I guess, for now. Alright, let's send it to the completed. That's a floater, so delete it. Same with that. Grab sharp edges. Arc sharp. Arc seam. I think by now it should be pretty clear on what to do. Alright then, just unwrap. Triangulate. Send it to completed. Let's grab this piece. Sharp edges. Alright, let's go to regular shading. Increase everything. Let's remove these. And we'll... thought Alt-P was poke, but I guess not. Something like this. Actually, we'll just poke it for that. And for these ones, alright, just, create your low poly geometry. See how this is looking. Let's actually just create a giant... I don't know why selecting coplanar is not working. Oh, it's because our threshold. Alright, so... Huh, that is interesting. It's not perfectly flat, so let's make it flat and make sure our high poly has the same thing. Alright, then go back to our low poly. Guess just triangulate. We'll do limited dissolve. We'll just apply that. Do sharp edges. Mark sharp, mark seam. And unwrap. Let's get a seam along here and there. So I might as well do a seam here too. And that would get us a grid for our UVs. Alright, no stretching. Let's move it to completed. Now let's do the mag. Alright, let's do this part. I'm just gonna... Alright, let's check our low poly. Or our high poly, I mean. Pretty sure I've got these joined up. Yep, so they're welded on the high poly. So we need to make sure they're booleaned on the low poly. Can't wait till we're finished with that and we can start baking and texturing. Baking's a pain, but texturing is alright. Once you get your bakes to look nice though, it's really satisfying. Alright, so let's boolean that. Alright, no problems. Apply. Remove any doubles. I think we got everything we needed, so let's uncrease everything and unsharp everything. Then select sharp edges with like 60 as the angle. And we'll mark sharp. I think that got everything. Let's see how the shading looks. Shading looks good. Alright, these are causing problems. So just merge them. There we go. Now the shading is looking good. Alright. Anywhere with a sharp needs a seam. That's always a rule. I think it's pretty much as low poly as it needs to be. We could definitely, well, actually no, let's keep that like that. So you're gonna be able to see, at least from back here. Alright, let's check out the Unwrap. And alright, so we've got some crazy faces going on here. Back. Alright, we still have internal geometry from the Boolean, that's why. I have to say the new Boolean branch cannot get here fast enough. It's going to be... well, it's looking to be really good. So like delete those, or just Control X them. Or yeah, we'll just delete them. And then create faces where we need it. Alright, redo the sharp edges. Mark seam, mark sharp. Alright, now everything is looking good. If we unwrap, that looks pretty much like perfect. Alright, let's move that to completed. Let's take this and we'll isolate it. Alright, this already has all the sharp edges marked out. So now we can just mark seam. And we also might as well save some polys. Well, actually, let's unwrap this first before we do anything. Alright, and this is a symmetrical model too, so alright, that can go. So can that. This can go. That can go. So can that. And that, and I think everything else is pretty much as low as it needs to be. Alright, so now let's unwrap. Check this out. Do these. Right, so those are separate islands, that's why we've got this going on. Let's pack it. Looks good to me, so let's move it to the completed part. And let's go to see, we could cut off like everything below here and save some polys and some texture space. So I'm going to do that because why not? Alright, so let's delete those faces. Let's isolate. We'll cap that off, mark it sharp and seam, and unwrap. Alright, then let's reflect that in the high poly. So we grab all of these and we said delete the faces, it's F, mark sharp. Okay, so now let's just look at our magazine. And it's still, everything holds up, but we just saved some polys. Alright, so let's go back to here. Let's save and go back to our low poly scene. Let's do these front sights. We're just gonna save the receiver for last again, since that's the the hardest part. Let me turn on some music. I guess it stopped at the ad. Alright, let's grab this. I think this already. Make sure it's a single user. Alright. And get rid of all that. And I think we can just get rid of these sharps. Do something like this. And triangulate n-gons. I think that looks good. Let's work it with seams and check it out. Alright, let's apply. Move it to completed. Let's make that single user 2. And make sure that's a single user. Alright, just wanted to make sure we weren't affecting the high poly. So let's triangulate n-gons. And I think we already did this because it was shared user with the other one, so let's just do completed. And we'll delete this right here. Delete these. Same thing with that. And yeah, we'll delete this too. Alright, let's do the site. Select sharp edges. Mark sharp, mark seam. And let's just, I think we can just easily do this with a limited dissolve at 1 degree. So we'll just deselect these and limited dissolve on here. Alright, now we can manually kind of clean this up. Alright, so I guess this affects the shape somehow. Alright, let's join that and then do that. Let's just triangulate and unwrap. It looks fine to me. Seems to hold up fine, so let's move it to completed. Let's triangulate n-gons. This should be easy, so we'll just poke and then select sharp edges, mark sharp, mark seam, and unwrap. Put a seam like, we'll put the seam here. Alright, let's apply. Move to completed. Alright, let's do this piece. Let's apply. Alright, this should be pretty simple. Alright, let's grab these. Mark sharp and mark seam. Let's see. Okay, we should probably also mark a sharp along this edge. And I guess right here too. Actually, we want to get rid of it. Get rid of it here. Let's just join that. That. Okay, mark sharp. and then mark seam. Mark seam. Alright, and make sure that's sharp too. Alright, and let's grab these like that. Let's unwrap. Triangulate N-gons. Check it out. Alright, that needs a seam. So does this. That's why it's so wobbly. And let's poke faces. Alright, that looks good to me. So let's apply. Move it to completed. And we can save quite a bit of texture space by mirroring this and all these hex screws. So first, let's delete the mirror, and that we will apply the subdivision, or the boolean, I mean. Grab that, apply that, and delete the mirrors. Okay, grab this. This should be really easy. Mark seam, mark sharp, mark seam. Unwrap, triangulate, N-gons, and poke face. Alright, move that to completed. Let's do this, Picatinny. Select sharp edges, mark seam, mark sharp, unwrap. We'll do check or deselect, collapse, do the same thing here, collapse, then we'll just do these ones, collapse. Alright, let's do the top side too, collapse, collapse, and collapse. We can just leave it like that. Let's get rid of this. And I think the best way to triangulate be like that and like that. Alright, now unwrap. Make sure all the sharp edges are marked sharp and a seam. Unwrap, and that looks good. Alright, now we can move it to completed. Let's delete these, they're floaters. Same thing with that. Let's do this. This should also have mirrored UVs, so just delete that. We'll only bake it one time. Okay, we will We can just keep that. It's only like a couple polys. Select everything that's creased, mark seam, mark sharp, and unwrap it. But we can delete like that right there. Triangulate n-gons. Alright, move it to completed. Let's do this. Mark sharp, mark seam. And clear sharp. Clear seam. And let's just add a seam right here for now, see how that works. Mark and unwrap. Alright, let's change the seam location just to there. Or actually, like right there. And now I want to align and align these. Same thing with these. Actually, instead of doing that, why don't I just, we'll add a whole seam around here. Alright, so that's good. Triangulate n-gons. Move to completed. What are we at? Almost 2 hours. Alright, well, luckily we're almost done. So let's just apply, delete. And this is like mostly just like grunt work, you know? You don't even have to think about it. You can just mark seam, mark sharp. And mark sharp, mark seam, then unwrap. Do the same thing here. Mark seam, mark sharp. Alright, and we need a seam through the middle because it's a tube. Alright, and let's grab these. Just press Alt E. I think we can do them all at the same time. Yeah. Right, those can't be made into a grid. Just pack. Alright, that looks good. And let's triangulate n-gons. And then we'll apply and send to completed. Delete that. Alright, sharp edges, mark seam, mark sharp, mark sharp, mark seam, and let's cut down the middle. And we'll grab this, and this. Do Alt E. Alright, that looks good. And let's just like we'll do this. Alright, pack. And send that to completed. Alright, let's do this. Let's just limited dissolve. Alright, that did a good job. Use sharp edges. Mark seam, mark sharp. Mark sharp, mark seam. Same thing here. Mark seam, mark sharp. Alright, do these two. Mark sharp, mark seam, unwrap, triangulate. Alright, and let's move that to completed. Alright, let's just triangulate. Sharp edges. Mark sharp. Mark seam. And then we'll just unwrap. One. Okay, so this has 8 triangles in one of these, and now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so we saved 2 triangles per. We'll just leave that like it is. And we'll put a seam down the side. Alright, and then move it to completed. Let's grab our bullet. We'll just apply that. Few sharp edges. Mark sharp. Mark seam. You want a clear seam here. Same thing with that. Clear seam. And mark sharp. Anything with a sharp needs a seam. Unwrap. Alright, then let's grab this. And then just press Alt E. Average, island scale, pack. Alright, that looks good. We'll move this to completed. We'll just delete that. Looks like a Lost floater. Like sharp edges. Okay, mark sharp. Mark seam. Alright. That was pretty easy. So now just what the heck? So undo that. Alright, now unwrap. Let's move that to completed. And now we'll go to our high poly. Alright, go back to our low poly. Delete these. Where's our bullet? Right there. So we'll just apply, recalculate the normals. Set that as sharp. Put a seam down the middle. Seam and unwrap. Might want to put one down this side too. Yeah, that gives a better shape. Alright. Let's move that to completed. Delete this floater. Alright, now we have to deal with the... Okay, we can actually deal with this first. Sharp edges. Mark seam. Mark sharp. Triangulate. Unwrap. Go to move it to completed. Alright. I think the only piece we have, okay, we can do these and then we'll do the receiver because I think that's all we have left. So we'll do sharp edges, mark sharp, mark seam. Make sure we got these two, mark seam, mark sharp. And we'll poke these. Okay, put a seam down the middle. The seam right here. Grab that. Press Alt E. Same thing with this. Alt E. And that. Then do Alt E. Average island scale. Pack. Alright. Completed. Okay, let's handle this kinda monstrous piece. So we'll start by boolean in these right here. So separate them. Separate that too. Delete that edge. Alright. we want to apply this. What is this one? Let's apply that. I think that's those cuts. Apply that. Apply that. We'll do this cut at the very end because it's cutting into both of these. And I know Blender's gonna have a problem with that. So now we'll just remove that for now. And we can get rid of all these. Alright, let's do the same thing with these. Let's put a face on every single one of these. Hit apply. Boolean it. Apply. You're probably gonna have to do some cleanup. Oh. I guess it just did it flawlessly. That's rare. Alright, let's do the same thing with these. Those are floaters. Say separate those. Make sure they're manifold. Alright, then combine it, apply, and shade flat. Let's turn off backface skull. Alright, and let's just alright, we'll worry about that later. Let's merge this. Let's apply, delete that. Alright, so merge it and bring it out as little as you can. Now we're gonna have to clean this up. Alright, let's just grab all this. Alright, that worked pretty well. Alright, what else do we have to do? Oh, we gotta move this to completed. Make sure we move it to low poly completed. And join that and apply. Grab all of these. Let's delete the face. Alright, yeah, just do the cleanup job. Actually, we can bring that. Oh, what the heck? Bring that to there. And do sharp edges. Mark sharp, mark seam, and unwrap. Let's. Alright, let's make sure. Alright, that's properly connected. Mark seam, mark sharp. Alright, that looks good. Alright. Let's keep going on the receiver. Okay, let's join this next. Let's go through all the, so mirror, triangulate, let's skip that step, cut in like that. Let's make sure these are, alright, so these are not aligned at all. Alright, that looks fine. Let's apply all these. Let's delete that face. And get rid of anything on the edges right now, so just clear everything. Select sharp edges, mark sharp, and mark seam. Alright, that shading is like horrid. So let's add some support loops to keep it in control. And let's delete these. They don't really contribute to the shape. And also just delete those. And this is symmetrical too, I think, so symmetrize. Alright. So now make sure that's flat. Alright, and now let's work at removing anything that's unnecessary, like that. And this. And this. Same thing with this one. They were just support loops for subdivision. We're gonna have to do some more, like one more loop. So let's cut that in. And let's grab this. Okay, let's grab that. And then we'll do... Here, let's look at this first. Now we'll do set normals. What is it? Here, we need to be in edit mode. Just set normals from face. Okay. Now we need to grab anywhere with a sharp edge and type split normal. Split normals. grab that. Set almost from faces. And now if we split normals, I want to get rid of the shading error right here. So I think that might just be alright, so we need to apply this. And set normals from face. Okay, let's turn off wireframe. I think we can delete this loop. Then we'll do set normals from face and split normals. Alright, I think all we can do is bring that out, this in. I think it's this triangle right here. So this is what it looked like by default. And if we do we set the norm. Okay, so that's the problem right there. So let's grab everything that's. Let's grab everything that's coplanar and make sure it's scaled in. Now set normals from face. Grab everything with a sharp and split the normals. I think we could just so set normals from face and split normals. I think it might be worth it to split these two. So let's split those. So mark sharp, mark seam. Let's unwrap everything that's coplanar. Set. So we'll clear, then we'll set normals from face. Alright, we just crashed. That's why it's important to save. Let's load back up. Wow, so looks like I might have lost quite a bit of progress. Alright. Okay, so that's kind of annoying. Alright. Let's make sure to save. And alright, that looks good. So let's apply. Let's save. I have everything that's coplanar and make sure it's actually flat. Clear seams and sharps. Get rid of these. Alright, triangulate, apply, save. Let's do tries to quads. Alright, I'm saving often now, so do select, sharp edges. Let's isolate this too. To mark sharp, mark seam. Then we'll grab these. Alright, so let's look at our high poly, because I don't know if this is sharp enough to really warrant having a sharp edge. Okay, we're saved. Yeah, I'm gonna say no. So let's go back and remove this. Save. Isolate. And let's try this again. Set almost from faces. And sharp. And split normals. Alright, that's perfect. Let's dissolve these. Just grab everything that's coplanar. We'll do limited, dissolve. Alright, now let's do this. And something like that, like that. Okay, let's save. And just clean up. Okay, so let's delete those and collapse that. Let's turn off wireframe. Clear sharp and clear seam. Same thing with this. And let's symmetrize. Okay, let's triangulate. And do set normals from face. Grab anything with a sharp and do split normals. Alright, I don't know what was going on the first time that made that so much more difficult. Alright, so set normals from faces. Grab anything with a sharp and do split normals. Alright, perfect. Now that that is handled, I think it's pretty much as low poly as it needs to be. Split normals. See, that looks good. We didn't have to add a sharp edge right there. Set normals from faces. Sharpness. And split normals. Alright, that should be fine. Alright, let's save. And unwrap. Let's mark a seam. Right down the middle. So mark seam. Unwrap. Okay, I think that's good. I don't know why that took so long. Alright, let's do this trigger. So apply, delete that. This should be easy. Though I said that about the last one. Mark sharp, mark seam, unwrap. Clear seam, clear sharp. All right. Oh, did we not? Alright, so let's boolean that. Make sure we're saving. Alright, apply. Delete any doubles. Wow, that was a lot. That worked fine. Alright, that seemed to boolean like perfectly. Except for whatever the heck this is. Alright, let's make sure it's all manifold. 38. Alright, so those are not boolean properly. Let's fix this first. Just merge at center. Delete that base. Same thing with that one. Delete those faces. Dissolve that. Same thing over here. Alright, Alright, didn't pick up anything, so it's manifold. Alright, next. Alright, let's... Alright, let's merge this now. So I guess just apply. Let's select non-manifold. Okay, so it actually combined like perfectly. So let's just center that. And like kind of round it out. Alright, that looks sort of good. Alright, so now we need to shade smooth. And let's clear the custom split normal data. And now we have to first worry about shading. And then dissolve anything that's unnecessary, so let's do sharp edges. And mark sharp and mark seam. Make sure it gets everything. I want to mark these as sharp too. Actually, I want these to be sharp. And I'm thinking, I don't know if we could improve the shading by let me try it on this side first. I don't think this would improve the shading, but it might if we no, so clear sharp. What we need to do is add edge loops around this. Like that. Like that. Do the same thing over here. And it's okay to add these extra polys because it's going to help with the shading. Let's do it on the other side too. Move them to the same spots. Alright, so let's grab these. Scale them in like that. And let's move these down and in. Let's do the same. Clean. Clean that up. Okay, and let's cut through like that. And let's grab these and these. And do the same thing on the inside. Alright, let's do the same thing on the other side. Right now, should be able to grab these, bring them in. Bring these out just a little bit. Do the same thing here. Okay, so it doesn't need to be on this side. So just dissolve those. Dissolve. Dissolve that. Just grab these. And that. And these. Alright, there. Now the shading is pretty good. The normal map should be able to handle those like easier because they're not so big. Alright, so save. Anything with a sharp needs to be seamed too. Grab these and clear sharp and seam. Same thing over here. We'll clear sharp, clear seam. Do the same thing. Clear sharp, clear seam. Clear sharp, clear seam. Make sure these are sharp. Mark sharp, mark seam. Clear sharp, clear seam. Clear sharp, clear seam. Same thing with this. And this. Don't think any of these should be either. Clear sharp, clear seam. Maybe right here. Then we can do the bottom of these. We go into the high poly. Take a look. Let's It's pretty smooth on the high poly, but let's I know what we can do instead though. So we can have sharp here. So let's clear this. So we'll do clear, sharp, clear seeing. And then I think we've got pretty much everything. Let's get rid of this. So deselect. And now I want to limited dissolve. Same thing with this. Just bring that to there. Remove these. Let's redo this. Limited dissolve. And let's manually join these up. Weld, weld, weld. Let's grab all of these. Oops. I hate it when it changes tools for me. I think it's if you hit like Alt C or something. Shift C? I don't know. Maybe if you double tap it? Yeah, if you double tap it, it'll go to your selection tool. But anyway, that's annoying. Okay, let's grab these, and then we will limited dissolve. Alright, now just join these up. Remove that, it's unnecessary. Let's add a loop there and dissolve that and that. Mark that as sharp. Mark sharp. Mark seam. What's going on with shading here? I think there's like mark seam. Mark sharp. Mark sharp. Mark sharp. I don't know why. Okay, so anything with a seam needs to be sharp too, at least for now. So, clear seam, clear sharp. I think we can do the set normals from faces on these. Or maybe we can just sharpen this. Sharp X mark seam like that. Alright, let's keep working. So I'm gonna triangulate this and do the same thing with this one. Alright. Okay, what is going on here? Oh, it's this. Mark sharp, mark seam. I guess it's just triangulating kind of strangely. Could bring this out to like there. But we'll just leave it. So how, yeah, I guess that's how it's triangulating. Let's make sure everything is blue. Alright, let's try and fix this shading some more. We can remove this whole loop and that. Same thing with that. Can bring that to there. Actually, let's just triangulate. Bring this to there. Let's just try. Alright, this needs to be sharp. Mark sharp. Bring that like there. Anything with a seam should be sharp, at least for now. Let's get rid of all the seams. until the end, so we can just work with one color. Alright. Let's grab everything coplanar to this, and to this, and deselect all this now. Then we'll do set normals from faces, select anything with a sharp, and split the normals. Alright, okay, so we also want a sharp edge here. Control mark sharp, and we want to get rid of this. It's unnecessary. Clear sharp. So let's add this and that. Let's add this to the, call it the normals group. So we need to assign that. And now we can select and we can do our set. We can just type in normals, or set normals. And then anything with a sharp, we want to split normals. Alright, so this should be sharp. And I think if we did let's grab everything coplanar to this. And this. Just want to try something out right now. Alright, so I can already have a feeling this really thin one right here is going to cause problems. So let's subdivide that. And make sure this is a quad. I think we can do this. And remove that. Same thing with these. I think this is a quad now. Alright, and let's merge that there, and that there. Okay, let's leave that. all of these flat ones are unnecessary. Oh, but they contribute to the... So... maybe these ones? Alright, so we can delete these two. 3. And let's connect these up. And remove that on this. And from here to here. Here. Alright. Let's keep like dissolving. Let's poke. 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 And poke. Poke. Poke and poke. Alright. What if we tried doing this and then do set normals from faces, mark sharp, or split normals. Make sure these are all flat. Set normals from faces. And then split. What if this was sharp? Alright, so this N-gon is causing a problem with shading, so let's subdivide and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we'll add 7 cuts. Alright, and just bring them close. And then just join them. Alright, I think I'm gonna keep that like that for now. And we'll see how it bakes onto that with it shaded like this. And then for this, let's have everything coplanar. Assign. And let's select it and then do set normals from faces. Grab everything that's sharp and split them. See what the shading looks like. Alright, so there's a shading error there. This side seems to be like perfect. Alright, so what is... So I guess this has more places to connect to. Alright, let's subdivide. Just right here. And mark sharp. Let's do this. Remove that. And we'll clear the normal data. Select these faces. And now do set normals from faces. And grab anything that's sharp and split normals. These should not be sharp. So let's clear sharp and redo that. Select, set, normals from faces. Do sharpness. And now split normals. Okay, let's... Something is very broken right here. Same with that. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it right there. Let's just add a... can add one more subdivision. And let's bring that to there. Same thing with this. And redo this. So we'll select, set normals from faces, and then split the normals on the sharp edges. Alright. Looks good on this matte cap. Oh, it's right there. That looks a little weird. Okay, so we still have this like massive shading error. So I think the only way really to fix that is gonna be with just a little bit more geometry. Everything else looks good though. Alright, so let's go back to a normal matte cap. And this is a quad. So where is the shading error happening? What if we triangulate the other way? Let's delete that face. And alright, let's go back to this so we can work. Bring that to like there. And do the same thing. Alright, now we will clear this. Select. Do set. Alright, let's just... Alright, now that everything's cleared, right? No custom normals. Let's see. Alright, it's pretty bad down here. But we can do set normals from faces. Alright, now it's like perfect. And now when we do the split normals. Alright, that looks good. So that should bake nicely with that's like an error, but it's like no one's ever gonna see that. We could probably even, you know, tuck it in tighter if we wanted to. Let's change the matte cap here. Alright, now unwrapping should be pretty simple. Anywhere where there's a sharp, we want to add a seam, and then we'll just place our extra seams like right there, seam right there, right there, and right there, and right there. Alright, we want to remove clear seam and clear sharp. And we're gonna have to redo our normals, I think, because of that, but that's fine. Let's unwrap. We should mark seam there. Mark a seam there. There. And there. There. Anywhere where we have circular holes, we need seams. There, there. There. There, there. There. Alright, same thing with these. There. 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 Alright, same thing with this. And I want to remove this seam. Clear seam and clear sharp. And then add these faces. For a normals group. Alright, clear that. Select. Do set normals from faces. And then grab everything that's sharp. Split normals. Alright, set that back to a normal one. And oh crap, I forgot we gotta cut in the trigger hole. So we'll cut that in. And then we'll just apply. So grab all the sharp edges here. Okay, let's alright, it's not really perfect on this mesh either, but it's whatever. Let's grab everything that's coat planar. We want to get rid of this hole. Bring it down to here. We can just actually undo that. Just Just intersect it like that much. Alright, go back to this, save. And now let's go back to our high poly, or low poly I mean. And make sure that's flat. Actually, you know what? It doesn't matter. What is this? Just dissolve all of this. Scale it to 0. Alright, let's see, mark these as sharp. And then mark C. Let's see. Okay, so you can't really see the insides, so it's fine. Alright, let's go to this, unwrap, back, check this, look for any warping or stretching. Like here. Sometimes scaling it up can help make it easy to see the like broken UVs. Alright, let's grab this. Let's grab everything we want to turn to a grid. Average, island scale, pack. Alright, let's, now that that's handled, alright, this is not good. Let's mark sharp there. Alright, and bring that back. Something with that. I want to just delete anything that's kind of unnecessary for the poly count. Like this. Alright, I'm gonna remove these. Bring that to there. Same thing with these. Let's turn off seams for now. Let's do the same thing over here. Alright, let's keep deleting, or dissolving rather. Where does this go? Alright, and then join these up. I'm just gonna try and reduce the vert count wherever I can. We could probably collapse this now that I think about it. So, grab these and do checker deselect, then do collapse, same thing here. So we'll do checker deselect, collapse. Yeah, let's do that here too. I think the normal map should be able to take care of that outside one. Check or deselect, collapse, collapse. Okay, delete unnecessary vertices on here. Any ones that don't contribute to the silhouette, like these. Okay, those actually do. Let's see this one. Alright, this has been going for a long time. Okay, let's grab everything that's sharp and make sure it has a seam. Let's unwrap, pack. Alright, let's clear that. Select these faces. Do set normals from faces. Grab anything that's sharp and then split normals. Alright, and we should probably eliminate this waviness. So see, the shading's fine, but I think it's this right here, so let's just add, let's just triangulate n-gons and keep normals. See how that, let's save. We'll duplicate this, send it to backup 4, save again. Alright, now I'm going to apply this and unwrap, pack this, grab this island and this island, and then do U, project from view. And then we're gonna average island scale, then pack again, and that got rid of our waviness. Alright, everything looks good except for that, so let's scale that back in. And we'll move that to completed. And now finally just do these last little parts. Okay, go to this. Mark sharp, mark seam, unwrap. Bring that out. And separate that. Separate that and just delete it. It's below the box, never going to be seen anyway. Join these. and apply it. Select sharp edges, mark seam, mark sharp. Merge at center, bring it to just delete all these edges. It looks like just merge these. And that, and that. Alright. And then let's delete that. Clear sharp. And mark seam, unwrap, alright, move to completed. What is this? Just a face and floaters. Alright, so it looks like we finished everything. So let's just go through and make sure all the modifiers are applied. Alright. Just go through all of these. Alright, and let's make sure everything has triangulated n-gons, so we'll do that, and then copy modifiers, so now everything has the same modifier, and just apply all, and save. Alright, so that's the end of that episode. Now we have our low poly unwrapped. In the next one, I'll do baking.